Hello YouTube and welcome to RSM. Today we have a new video for you. It's a new Starfield build video. So what we got is a Class C ship. This is my Interceptor Mk4. It's the full mid to late game version of the previous video. This one is the one that you ideally want to use, or at least utilize for mid to late game, like I say. So most of the parts are available early in from your own outpost, where you can get any, more or less all the parts, with the notable exception of the engines, which are mission locked to the Stroud mission, and location locked on two of the habs, the 2x2s, they're location based, one for the Nova and one for the Hope Tech. There's also the landing gear that are location based to Titan. And the scan jammer, which is to the Red Mile, unless you've already done the Crimson Fleet, where you can get it there as well. But the Red Mile, there is shielded cargo, but you can get them at your own outpost. You don't have to go anywhere else for that, but you can get it at the Red Mile or the key. So let's start with the build. First thing we use is the landing bay. We're going to go with the 120 LD. It's a pretty good all-rounder landing bay with a nice design and front load. Next we get our engineering bay, and that goes right on top, sitting. So the landing bay is on the first 2 points. Next we'll grab our cockpit, which is the Magellan C2X. It's a nice little tight, confined, nice little cockpit to go with. It's not the biggest, not the most advanced or anything like that, but it fits the theme and looks pretty nice. Next we're going to grab these two Cowlin. These are the Nova Cowlin. You can get them anywhere, like I say, well, at your outpost. So they go here again on the first two spots of the engineering bay. Now underneath on the Cowlin we have our first set of weapons, which are the Gauss guns. You can put any weapons you want on this, it's all up to you. I've chosen the Gauss as these primary weapons, and the other two weapons I've selected I'll go over when we get to them. Next, what we want to do is grab this piece, the docker. This goes on the underside of the engineering bay in the last free spot underneath on the flip. Next we want these. These are location based, so these are the Hope Tech hab spines. They are, like I say, location based, so you'd have to go to the Hope Tech shipyard for these. So you just want two of these. This will create a corridor straight down there. Next we grab these two habs. So you can use any habs you want. I prefer Hope Tech, so most of them are going to be Hope Tech. So we need we've got an infirmary and a workshop. These sit here. right behind the cowling and attached to the last section of the engineering bay and the first hab spine. This will give you a door on the last section of each and no door here. Because of this, it's not going to try and force a door anywhere here, so you can fully control where you want it on that particular piece. Next, we grab these two. These are the NG20 landing gear, and these go here on the first points of each of these habs. I've got them in the 4 configuration for this one, but you can get them in the mid and the wide, which are these two. All you have to do is just flip them around. Now we're going to grab our Deimos hull from here. Right, and we are going to put it here because we need to do a snap glitch. So put it here. So we go duplicate, and again, and again, and delete, delete, and delete, and the docker is covered. Okay. Next, we want this piece. This is our captain's quarters, and it goes directly underneath the hab spines, which is right behind the docker. This way we guarantee there's no ladder going above it at all. Next, we need a 1x1, which goes right on the bottom, right behind the captain's quarters. You can have it as a companionway, or you can set it for the storeroom. I'm going to set them as storeroom. Next, we grab the other companionway, so I'll set it as storeroom, but we also want this one. We've got an armory, another 2x2. These go here, connected to the hab spine, and this creates a tower here. So you've got a ladder basically going right up this section. Next, you want this landing gear, which goes right here on the first section of the armory, and then another hull for another glitch, but you've got to go 2 down for this one because it's landing gear. Okay, and then we grab this belly. It's a Deimos one, easily finds in the shipyard. Selecting the aft configuration and put it here. That is the belly in the full belly and length of the ship. Next, grab these two. Oh, and I do apologise, I put the landing gear in the wrong place. These two go here, not on the front, on the second part, sorry. The belly goes in the front. Like that. Next, we grab these, the Stroud cowling. Now, the Stroud cowling, you don't have to do the duplicate, you can just flip these. So you just put it where you want and then flip it to the orientation you want, which is this one, so that we've got the curve here, like that. Next, this one. And that's done. next piece. So this will be the reactor and the grav drive. Now this one we do need to do a glitch with, so we'll just get down to one. So we're going to use the shear flow SF440 reactor because it's easy to cover using this glitch method. As you can see, it's completely covered. Do the same. For the grav drive, which is the GV300 Apollo. You can use whatever grav drive reactor you want, but these are the ones I find are the easiest to do this hiding away. The main reason you want them hidden is because any kind of attacks, they're not gonna be able to they're not gonna be able to hit the reactor properly because the cargo hold is gonna act like a shield. So you want to select the reactor and then the cargo hold, the cargoes themselves separate. If you tried to select it all at once, the reactor wouldn't be selected. And this way, this is how you move them around, and then you put them in place like that. Here, so these go in this, basically in line with the gear and the rear of this hub, and next to the second spine. Okay. Next, we're going to grab these. So this is a Nova Galactic living quarters. It's a 2x2, and it will go here. The reason you want to use that I'm using this is there's a pool table here in this corner that I like having on the ship. On the other side, we're going to have a battle station. So we're using the HopeTech one. Next, we're going to grab these two cowlin just to get ready for it. These cowlin go here, attached to these hubs here. These ones have the missiles, which I'm using the 280C missile launchers. So we're using two of them on either side here. Next, we'll grab the fuel. Just up these two. And go here. So they attach to the top section of the reactor and grav drive. Just get this out of the way so we can see what we're doing. Okay. This way, you've got two of them. They both give 550 on the fuel. So these are the H40 tanks. On the previous ones, I was using the H30, so they only had 400. So this gives you a max of 1100. Next, we want these. Let's just grab all of this, get it a bit closer in. Missed one. Let's bring that there. Okay, so grab 2 of these, and they go right here. Same for this one, right here. So they're both on the 2x2s right behind the cargo bays. Next we're going to want these. These are the 203 cargo holds. These can be flipped, so we'll just move these into position, which will be over the gear, flip them around, and that's the position we want that one in. Same again. And then grab these two, and it goes here with the front of the cap on the cargo section. So you'll have one bit sticking out for now. Grab this one and do the same here. Missed it. There we go. And the second one. There we go. That's all that done. And put this in place. And that's the belly of the ship coming together. So all the landing gear is now in place, so it should give you a footprint like that. Okay. Next we're going to put these in place. So these, you want 3 of these. If you want to do this, you don't have to. Let's grab these two so I know these are. So these go here, 2 on the captain's quarters on the floor, 1 on the ladder section. This will give a nice view when you're in space. This one goes here on the front right section of the battle stations. The reason being, I'll explain in a minute. But for now, I'm just going to grab these, stick them together, and bring them over here. So these, we're going to put them just here, and then this one, we're going to duplicate, and then select them and move them over here. This will cover up the fuel, so the fuel tanks are hidden as well. And the wrong way, and there we go. And then that's that one done as well. So we are starting to come together. Next we'll grab the rest of the wings. So let's select all this. And bring them a bit closer. Okay, so we've got the first cowling, which goes here and has the last weapon section starting on it, which is the PBO, the 300 Auto Alpha. Now you can use the turrets versions of it, but I find that they are very overpowered, especially if you're using this as an early game ship. They are very overpowered. And we just put these here, like that, like so. Now these are cowling as well, so they're the same kind of cowling. This is just a mid variant of it, and it's got the other weapon, the other PP. So there's 4 of these in total. Next we need this Deimos bumper. It'll like that in your menu, and this you want here, so it'll snap to the last this door part here. You want to flip it and then flip it back, and this hides the gap that's here. Now on the top, from the top view you might not see it, but on the bottom you probably would, so it just hides it. And then we do the same with this one, but we'll just grab roll as one and put it in place, so it'll look something like that. Next, we need to grab some of this, so let's bring it a bit closer. So we want the shroud cap, which goes right above. Let's just move this out of the way. Brought it a bit too far. Yeah, so the shroud cap goes right above the armory, which is the back of the ship. This is the one. This is the piece that doesn't move. You can't flip it at all. It's only got that one position. Next, we want this companionway, make it a storeroom, and that goes above the other two. So we just got one tower of ladder. Next, an all-in-one berth and a living quarters. So these go here, either side. Now, the reason why we put that porthole in that place is important, because yes, it's going to turn this red, but it stops a ladder forming in that position. Because as soon as you put a hab down, that the game wants to put a ladder here. It didn't when I built it last time it didn't want to try and put one here, so that's fine. But when you build, if you build a ship like this and you don't want the ladder here, like I don't, because what's the point when you've got that? You can use the portholes to stop it, and it's best to do it this way. So on the hab that's on the lower section, put it as a top porthole. That way it's in the built into the ceiling, and it won't affect this hab at all. So when you go to put this one in place, you just change the variance, change it back, because that's the one we want. If you put the porthole on the bottom of, say, this hab, it'd still work, but you get a divot in the floor, because when the portholes are in place, it creates like a bubble window, so the floor's not going to be completely flat. So I always recommend doing it in the ceiling if you can. Next, we've got these two hubs. So we've got our control station and our computer core. These two go directly here. So one's right on top of the spines and one goes above the engineering bay, connected to here. That's the main structure of the ship done. Next, we're going to put this equipment plate with the scan jammer on it right here. So the scan, like I say, scan jammer you can get from the Red Mile. Next, grab this porthole, and this is just an aesthetic one. It doesn't stop anything, it just goes here, because this is the very top of the ship for there. Okay. Next, we're going to grab our shield generator, and we're going to put it here on the rear of the front top hab. We're using the Assurance SG3000. The Odin is better, but I just haven't got it on this playthrough so far. I just haven't got around to putting it on the ship. Next, we're going to grab all four of these shielded cargo, which go here. Okay. So they start from, they all attach to the control station hub. And then that only leaves these. So next we're going to add the engines, which are the mission locked S830s, the 6830s. So these are probably the best engines you can get in the game, because they offer massive thrust, both maneuverability and just pure engine thrust, but for a reduced weight of the previous version. So you're gaining more mobility and less weight just by using these over the 6330s. The only downside is you've got to go through the missions to get to them. So this is an upgradable option for you. So you can build this ship without these if you don't have them. You can just use the lower down versions and then upgrade when you can, which is something I would highly recommend. Next, we're going to grab this. Now I've left it in this configuration, but it's going to be changed. So it is another shroud cap, cowling. So it goes here, but you want it in this configuration with a snap point at the top. You don't want it in that one, you want it here. Right, so we'll put it in place like this, and then we'll grab this and this, which go right here. So you want this cowling, which is just a mid version of the Nova, and then a front version. Now the reason you want this one in that orientation is because the cowling sits on it pretty nicely, whereas if it didn't have this little lip, there'd be a big gap here and it'd just look odd. So that's more aesthetics than anything else. I'll show you here. See that, like half of it is just looks like it's hanging over it, so it doesn't look like it's meant to be there. But if you do the alternate variation, it looks right. Just put this one in place as well. Next, we're going to put this one right here. This will go right over the control station hub, and then we've got a front version which goes here. Just need to flip this one in place, and it covers up the shield generator and gives a nice curve to the top, giving us just a bit of an accent. Next, we grab this one, and this one goes right in front above the cockpit as well. Now you need to do the flip on this one because it'll merge into the cockpit as well as cover the scan jammer. Next, we've just got to fit these and we are done. So we're going to grab our engine mount, which go here. Again, Stroud engine. A lot of the pieces on this are Stroud, Deimos and Nova. There's pretty much no tile on this. And then we got the Stroud cap A, giving it a nice smooth, streamlined kind of look for it. This one goes here. So this one you're going to have to flip because it's covering up the cargo there. And there we go. That's one side done. Flip it into place, and there we go. That is one ship completely built. Now you can go and paint it whatever kind of colours you want. I'll leave that completely up to you. The reason I haven't done any painting on this is just to give you a good visual representation of what the parts are. I usually go with a black and red dark colour scheme, you see. But everyone has their own choice, so pick out what kind of colours you like and go for it from there, because this will look brilliant in loads of different colours. Darks, bright colours, greys, whites, all kinds. It'll look fantastic because it's got a proper aircraft fighter look to it, but with a good space feel. So this feels like something you'd see in space at some point, especially for something that can go and land on a planet. It looks like it's designed to. So there are spaces where you could say put portals here if you wanted, but I don't like them on the side. They stick out too much. Same for here and here. So it's all up to you if you want to put them there, but I don't. Now, the big question is, how good is it? Well, it is pretty good. Because the main core components are heavily covered, like the reactor and the grav drive, you're not going to really take any damage. It'll be very hard to get crit shots from the bad guys on this, so you can hang in a fight quite well, because plus they're going to aim for the center of the ship anyway, which is here. Nothing is in the direct center. Everything's off to the sides a little bit and covered, so you've got armor in place where you need it. All your weapons are clear, no obstructions or anything like that. Your missiles, if you use the same weapons I use, the missiles and the Gauss weapons will do fine damage, but your PBOs will decimate pretty much anything that you're going to come across. Anything, even like sort of level 80 stuff, will be toast. So the reason why I'm not using the turrets at the moment, which do look nice and work well on this as well, because they literally just be in the same place, 2 forward, 2 pointing back, is I had an issue where I popped into a system that with 3-star fighting Crimson Fleet, and obviously I'm going to fight the fleet, but it also shot at the 3-star, giving me a bounty. So it's up to you whether you want to use the turrets or not. For now, I just decided I'm not going to have the headache of having to go and clear the bounty every time something like that happens. So I just put the direct fire on, because I know I can have the just go for the combat myself if I wanted. So yeah, this is pretty beefy. Still got quite high mobility, with being 67, which is pretty high. Having extremely high mobility isn't a necessity except for some parts of combat, but if you're heavily armoured like this, that is actually just iced on the cake, because you're still, even with very low mobility, you can still turn fairly fast. And if you've got high damage weapons, then they'll do a lot for you as well. So you've got max crew, and you've got 7 passengers if you use this configuration. So that way you can pick up any kind of missions you want. It's definitely a good idea to have at least quite a few passenger spots, because if you run crew like Mk4, who brings his daughter along, the daughter counts as a passenger, so you automatically, just by having him, lose not only a crew spot but a passenger as well. So that's stuff that you need to keep in mind, because the game itself doesn't come out and directly tell you that. So 7 spots is pretty nice, because you get, for this build, you're getting 3 just from the living quarters on the 2x2, and another 2 from the Hope Tech, and another 2 from the all-in-one. You've got all the stations that you need, so you've got your workbenches that you need. You've got your cooking one in the all-in-one, all the ones in the workshop, and the infirmary. So the infirmary gives you your research and your chem station, and the workshop will give you the industrial, the armour, and the spacesuit one. So you're pretty covered on that. And then you've also got your cargo, which is pretty high on this, considering you've got 8 big cargo containers plus 4 little shielded ones as well. So depending on what extra buffs you get, your base amount, if you use this build, is 11,000 cargo, which is pretty high. Buffs will take you up quite high. I think mine runs at about 1,500 or something like that. So yeah, pretty versatile ship, and it definitely does everything you need. So I'm just going to cancel because I've already built it. So yeah, currently my cargo's sitting around 17,000. So that is definitely something to be aware of as well. Max jump range as well, which is another bonus. The weight is not hindering it at all, anything like that. So yeah, you can just pretty much jump almost anywhere in this anywhere you need to. So yeah, that's the ship. That's the Interceptor Mk4, a Class C ship with a lot of attitude. So if you like, great. If you want to build it yourself, you can go for it, by all means. That's why I made this video. Otherwise, hope you enjoy. Like, comment and subscribe. It is very helpful when people do that. I always read the comments, and I try to reply to whatever I can. The subscriptions definitely help, likes definitely help, everything helps, especially with the YouTube algorithm. God, that thing. So peace, love, and see you in the next video, and have a good day. Thanks for watching.